Hello everyone, welcome to part 4. I have a good memory. Anyways, today we're going to be painting a lot of the parts and possibly putting the decals on. I don't know, I might save that for part 5. But anyways, yeah, we're going to be, I'm going to paint like here, but not any of the other parts. And for stuff like the trailing truck and like this, a lot of the other smaller parts, I'm going to be hand painting them because you can't take these apart very well. So I'm going to hand paint these because I don't want to get spray paint on the wheels. But the first step, I guess, would probably be to disassemble this. So I guess I'll start there. Okay, so there's our motor. Don't gotta paint that. I'm also going to be rewiring this whole thing because I do not trust these wires in the slightest. Actually, I should probably desolder this while I'm at it. So, oh, that smells bad for some reason. I haven't tinned this tip yet though, so maybe that's why. Yeah, that doesn't make it smell any better. Yeah, that is not coming off for some reason. I guess I'll just cut this wire then if it's not. Because then I could just solder directly onto there. Just make sure this still works. I don't know why it wouldn't, but... yeah, we're good. Okay. So... now that these wires are off, I could probably just throw these away. This could put off to the side as well. And this is all that'll come off of there, so... alright. And in between videos, I fixed a lot of the pitting that was on the shell, as well as made a new cab side. So that's all pretty good now. I'm just going to file away some of this to make it a little bit more smooth. But yeah. So, and a lot of the stanchions are coming out, but we'll fix that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move over to the painting area. I'm going to spray paint these first, and then I'm going to hand paint those while they dry. So a little bit of multitasking. So for whatever reason, I did not bring my phone stand thingy down here, so I got to hold it. But anyways, you got them on the turntable, so I can spray them. I'm just using gloss. However, when what's it called? When I can't think. When after I put the decals on, I'm gonna use, well, it doesn't say it on the front, but this is flat clear. So, it's gonna be like a matte sort of a thing. But anyways, I'm gonna shake this up because I didn't, and then I'm gonna go back to it. So I've mixed it up now quite a bit. Hopefully it's enough. But this is the same paint that I used for 301 and the matching heavyweight. So, yeah, well, I'll start with the smaller stuff. And that's quite a bit, actually. I mean, it looks like it's sticking, though, so. Yeah. Hopefully I'm not getting any of this on my phone. But, yeah. Oh. That's great. Came out the top for some reason. Alright, well, I'm no longer touching that with my bare hands. So we just did the locomotive, or not locomotive, the tender. It's looking really wrinkly for some reason, but yeah. I just realized I could turn this around. So that's looking okay, I guess. But yeah, I'm not a professional at this, so probably doing a lot of things wrong. But let's go paint the other parts now. So it's definitely been a while since I've hand painted something. But the only thing I'm going to do for this part is redo the headlight, because everything else on this part is perfectly fine. But other than that, we got the trailing truck, this thing, I don't really know what that's for, the sides of the back of this, and the tender trucks. So, in between videos, I cleaned up the tender wheels quite a bit, and they pick up power flawlessly now. So those are all good. But yeah, other than that, we'll get to painting. So I'm going to start off painting this just because I think it'll be the easiest. Hopefully it is anyways. That's quite a bit, actually. But, you know. Yeah, I still have my water. Okay. Probably gonna have to do a couple layers, but that's fine. I'm not gonna try and paint the inside just because I think that'll be kind of difficult, and you're also not really gonna see it much. But, you know. Okay, so coat 1 on that is done now. The screw for it fell out. Alright, now I'm gonna use metallic white for the inside of this. That way it's a little bit like reflective, if that makes any sense. Because, you know, it's meant to be a headlight. It's supposed to be reflective. I don't think I've ever actually used this metallic white. So that'll probably be good enough for now. I got red paint all over my hands, and it looks like I have blood on my hands, but I assure you, it's red paint. So now we got to do the bigger parts with not a lot of black left. Black is probably the color that I use the most, so I obviously don't have a ton of it left. I do have to get a bigger thing of it eventually. If there's even any. Oh no, there's some left. That's probably like the absolute last of it, but you know. I don't know how closely this will match the locomotive and tender in terms of like their paint, but why is my brush doing that? Yeah, that'll work. I don't think I really need to paint the insides of them, just because you're not really going to see that unless you look at it super close. But that looks pretty good, in my opinion. I'm not an artist, never claimed to be. So it's not going to turn out the greatest, but there's actually like a little bit of pitting on this piece as well. But nothing I could really do about it now. Alright. So that side also turned out really good. I guess I'll do the back of this now. I'm only going to do this section of it because I don't feel like painting the entire chassis, and I don't know how that would look. But this part is the part under the cab, so I feel like if it's not painted, it'll look weird. and I just touched it. Wow. I'm going to do the back of it too, actually, as well. I know there's probably a better way of doing this, but I don't know it, so we're doing it this way. Now this... I don't think I'm going to paint the actual chassis of this, just because it's kind of hidden under the tender. So I feel like there's not really any need to. A little bit under here. But yeah, that's looking pretty good. I'm not going for perfection, so, you know, but I am trying to make it look somewhat good. So now the problem is I can't hold the other side like I was doing for the other side. Oops, that's quite a bit. Sorry that a lot of this is... Oops. That's not good. Sorry that a lot of this is like kind of out of frame. I don't really know a better way to set up the camera so that it'll like be better. But that's looking pretty good as well. What was that? Oh, my water bottle. Never mind. So that looks really good, actually. And surprisingly enough, I only got paint on one of the wheels. And my hands are really painty. But yeah, all these parts turned out surprisingly really good. Even the back of the cab doesn't look half bad. I just have to go over this again. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. I think I might just leave that like that. I completely missed that. Alright, so I think we're done hand painting. So I guess I'll go see how the spray painted parts are doing. So it's pretty much dry to the touch now, so I can go ahead and put the paint on the other side of the tender. So it's kind of hard to see because it's like all black, but the parts of the cab are looking pretty good. I don't know why it's doing that thing where it's like getting all wrinkly. but it did that with the OFR heavyweight as well, so I don't fully know why. But anyways, I'm gonna let this dry now, and we'll once that's pretty much dry, I'll go ahead and put the decals on, and then we'll clear coat it. So it's been a little while now, and so it's pretty much done. This side turned out a whole lot better than this side. I don't know why this is like this, but it's like really, I don't know. And it's pretty much, well, no, it's dry to the touch now, so in my opinion, that's good enough to put decals on. That's how the locomotive turned out. Hopefully it'll look better when I put the matte paint on there. But for now, I just gotta get these not valve cylinders, the whatever these are called, crosshead guides. And it sounds like it's raining outside. Cool. So yeah, once I get these back in, we'll get the decals in there. Now, I'm not doing any extra paint. I'm just going to leave it all black because that's how it was originally. I'll put a picture of what it's supposed to look like somewhere on the screen right now. But, like normally, you know, locomotives would have like a graphite colored smoke box. But, we don't have that. Well, I do have graphite color, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to start with this side because this is the rougher side. Now, it's going to be kind of hard to see unless I prop up my phone stand with something. I'll actually try and do that. So that didn't really work. Okay, that actually works. And it's getting stuck to the thing again. So the decals that I have is what are these? Well, they're New York Central micro scale decals, and the original number on the locomotive was 443. So that's the thing that I'm going to put on there, and we do have the New York Central system decals. However, the original locomotive did not have the system at the end of New York Central, so I will not be putting those on there. Oh, do they give diagrams as to where to put them on? Ah, they do. Alright. So, we have diagrams now of where to put the thing. And they do have this Burke. I think it's an A2 class. And if it's the one I'm thinking, yeah, A2A. Okay, I'm blind. Yeah. I really like this Berkshire. I don't know why, but there's only like brass models of it, so probably not going to get one anytime soon. My River Odyssey one will have to do. But anyways, yeah, so J, I don't know which J this is. And it's also saying their J's are Berkshires. Anyways, so I don't know. I'm probably not going to put any of the extra decals on the tender, like the, what's it called? This, like any of the extra stuff. But I will be putting New York Central on the tender, obviously. So, I guess I'll cut these out and get a tub of water, and then we'll go from there. Hopefully we'll be able to reassemble this thing today. So I got my tub of water that I use for decals off to the side here, and I cut out the decals that we need. It's really hard to see because they're white lettering on white paper, but yeah, that was it. The numbers were especially hard because there's no 4s next to 3s or 4s next to 4s or anything like that, so they were kind of difficult. I've just put the first one in there. Actually, I could put this over here. That way y'all could see. But I'm going to leave that in there for a minute. And we'll, yeah. So, after being in the water for a little bit, the font is like a lot more visible. I don't know why that is, but I ain't complaining. Now I gotta try and get it out of there. Oops. That's not good. Oops, that's double not good. Please don't slide off of there while you're upside down. It did. Didn't break though, I don't think. This is not going well. Just get my little water dropper here and get some water on there. Just get it positioned here. That looks pretty good. So yeah, that turned out really good actually. So hopefully that'll stay while I do the other side to like clear coat it. But I've got the other side here, so I'll go ahead and do that, and then we could work on the locomotive. So I've got the other side on now. It doesn't look the greatest, but it's better than what it was. Now I'm probably not gonna do the locomotive on camera just because it's gonna be kind of difficult, probably. So I'll do the locomotive off camera, and then I will keep recording when I do the clear coat. So I've got the decals on now, on both sides. So now I'm gonna go clear coat it, and then that'll conclude part 4. So I got my Tamiya flat clear here. I think that's what it is, yeah. Yeah, that's how you say it. Okay. Anyways, now I don't know if it'll cover up the gloss. I don't know if it'll fully be matte, but hopefully it will. This is also just to make sure the decals don't go anywhere. But Hopefully that's not too much. Yeah. So now I'll just let that dry for a couple minutes, and we'll flip over the tender and do the other side of that. So these are now, well, the tender's not dry, I just put on the other side of it, but the locomotive is dry, and it did actually turn out looking pretty good. It's about the same finish that's on some of Bachmann's steamers, but this is going to be the end of part 4, so in the next part we're going to be reassembling everything and testing it, so that'll be pretty exciting. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.